I'm tired. You're tired. We've both been traveling a lot. My brain's still not on straight.
Yeah, yeah, it's tough. It's tough. All right, here we go.
What's today?
Hmm? I'm gonna get
What's today?
Wednesday, I think. No, it's
No.
Tuesday. It's Tuesday.
So welcome to the show, guys.
Yep, here we are. Yeah, we just came rough intro there, but we're gonna roll with it. It's another quick chat episode, so loose format. We're not gonna stress too much about the formality today.
It's the least censored version of Malik and I that you're ever gonna get.
So travel, yeah, it's been a busy couple months for us. Busy, last 2 weeks. Busier last 2 weeks for me. You've been running since December last year, so I don't know how you're even awake most of the time. But hey, that's where we are.
Yep. I've been in 3 different time zones in the last 2 full months. So like the last 60 days. As of February 5th, I was not in my own bed for more than 4 nights, I think it was, up until like going backwards to December 24th. And right now I'm not in my own house either. Right now I'm dog sitting. So I'm still not at my house.
Yeah, to me that's just wild. I did a lot of driving in the last couple weeks, but man, to have 4 nights in 2 months, I don't know how. I don't think I could do that. That would not work very well for me.
I guess I phrased that wrong. Sorry. Like not more than 4 nights in a row, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So I'd be like at a friend's house for 1 night, and then I'd be home for 3 nights, and then I'd be in Texas for a week and a half, and then I'd be home for 2 nights, and then I'd be dog sitting for a week, and then I'd be somewhere else for a weekend, and then back at my house for 2 nights. That's what I mean.
Yeah. Either way, that's still pretty terrible. That was my February 2nd through the 11th. Yeah, through the 11th. It was super fun. My wife is doing pharmacy school interviews, so hey, well, for residencies. So we decided it was more economical to just drive instead of flying all over the place because flying was super expensive. And we decided I was just going to drive and drive her wherever she needed to go. So that included Oklahoma City, that included New Orleans, and that included Tulsa in 9 days. And I actually took pictures of the mileage and everything. So I started a timer February 2nd. So I spent 56 hours, 51 minutes, and 56 seconds driving in the car in those 9 days. And I drove 3,341.7 miles. A lot of driving. So I got an oil change on the 1st. And it's basically time for an oil change again.
Holy cow.
Yeah, it was something. That's all I would say. At a certain point, you just kind of, just drive under, hey, I've just been doing this so long, you don't really even pay attention to what you're doing. You just end up, well, there's another 3 hours gone, another 3 hours gone. Oh, we're here. Yep, 6.5 hours to Oklahoma City and back. Then 8.5 hours going to New Orleans, coming back. It was about 8:15, and then Tulsa was 9 hours because we hit some dumb traffic in Dallas. So it took us 9 hours to get to Tulsa.
You
It
couldn't
was
schedule Oklahoma
bananas.
City and Tulsa in the same, like right after each other?
Oh, that would have been way too easy and way too convenient. But that's not the way the cookie crumbled. It was when the emails came in, you just had to pick. And in the days I wasn't driving, I was working. So I
Ah.
wasn't off work or anything like that. It was fantastic. I got to see a lot of the state I haven't seen before. Like I didn't know there was an Orange, Texas. Had no idea that was a place that existed,
Hmm.
but it is, and it's about halfway between here and New Orleans. I know that now too.
I can't think of any time I've driven that much ever. I can think of a time I was in the car that much in a week, but I wasn't driving.
You were lucky. Yeah, never. Yeah, so it was interesting because we stayed at La Quinta twice, and then we stayed at the Brent House. It's basically a hotel that's attached to the hospital in New Orleans. So that was really cool. So it was, a 5 minute walk to where she needed to meet for her interview. So that was great. So we stayed at La Quinta in Oklahoma City. The decorations were really nice, but you could tell they had recently renovated some stuff and it wasn't 100% clean cleaned. Like, the edges of the shower caulking wasn't exactly right. It was new. It was clear that it was new. It just wasn't as clean cut as you might want it to be, but it was clean. So that worked. The Tulsa La Quinta, we pulled up at 12:30 in the morning. 12:30. Coming through, we go to our room. It is the bed's not made. There's dirt everywhere. There's trash on the floor. The trash hasn't been taken out. The towels are piled up in the bathroom. So there was empty water bottles all over the place. I was like, what the hell has happened in this room? So I very calmly, because one, I was too tired to be mad. I just needed to. But also, it was 12:30 in the morning, so yelling and screaming wouldn't have really solved anything.
Uh-uh.
So I went down and was like, "Hey, our room is not clean. There's stuff everywhere. We would like a different room." And no, they took care of it. They got us a different room shortly after. But I was like, "What are the chances? We're gonna drive 9 hours and then go to the room, and the room's gonna be dirty." And it was freezing cold. So I didn't want to go back out to the car, which I had to do twice that night for things we forgot in the car. Because when you're tired and delirious, you forget things in the car. Yeah, it was a rough time. I will say the hospital there that she interviewed at was beautiful. It was crazy. It was a great hospital, but that hotel situation was not great.
And you don't find out about the results of all of this travel for another month. Almost a month.
Yep, a little less than a month. So we just get to wait.
That's not
But
even like fun travel. That's just stressful travel.
it's business. It was for business. That was it. People were asking, when we went to New Orleans, oh, did you guys go do anything? Do what? I was tired, low energy mode the whole time.
So what did you do while she was at her interviews?
Mostly slept
Oh,
and
good
relaxed and didn't
idea.
really do anything. Had some coffee, of course, and then just sat at the hotel until she was done. When they got lunch, picked her up and back on the road. That's just what it was. It was there was no fun, no fun to be had. It was get there, get her to where she needs to go, get back home. That was it.
Yeah.
So I didn't even the thought of even pulling up my phone to look for something to do was exhausting. There was just nothing. I was like, no, I need to conserve all this energy because I'm about to be back in the car for 8 more hours. Just relax. Fun thing about Oklahoma, there's a whole lot of nothing out there.
Uh,
And I mean, there's a lot of nothing driving through Texas, but there's really nothing driving through Oklahoma. Going the Tulsa direction, we were driving back and we were going through towns that were like 3 blocks long. The whole town. You see a little sign that says entering 3 blocks, exiting. That's it. The whole town. Yeah. These were less than one stoplight towns. It was like a stop sign and then you were out of the town.
I would have such a hard time living in a town that small. Like, oh no.
I mean, there were places I really wasn't sure there was actually anybody living there. There were a lot of rusted out, beat up buildings. There was one place, it was actually a quote unquote bigger town, but I saw 4 cars. 4. I was like, okay, this is 7 blocks long, but I only see 4 cars, so that's concerning all on its own. Half of Tulsa is stuck in the 40s, and the other half of the actual city is really, really nice. It's very
Tulsa's trying
confusing.
so hard to get people to stay. I saw a thing a while back that was like, we will pay people $10,000 to move to Tulsa. You just have to stay here for a whole year. And I was genuinely considering moving to Tulsa just because I was like, that's a lot of money. Like, if I could find a way to just like live and work for a year in Tulsa, take that 10,000 and run.
I know. Yeah, I don't think I could live in Tulsa. Not more than a couple years. Like that would be the breaking point. It's like, okay, we got to go back to civilization. Oh man, it was a very strange place. So driving through, and I'm like, really, you would go from a kind of rundown neighborhood right into like a really super ultra modern building. It was the most strange thing. But the whole town was like that. It was very. No, my mom was telling me when she lived in Oklahoma when she was younger, they used to go on vacations to Tulsa. This was a while ago. I'm like, what in the world was in Tulsa then? Because there's nothing now.
Have you heard about what was it called? The Tulsa fire, the Tulsa burning? It was like 1969 or something. And they like burned down half of the city as part of a race riot.
Yes, which is
Okay.
a whole other thing
That's
about
like
Tulsa. You can
the
imagine,
most I know about Tulsa is because of that story.
yeah, and you think it doesn't really look like the place really recovered.
Yeah.
To be quite honest, it never really recovered. So yeah, here we are. The hospital was great. The hospital was very very nice, but I don't know about this whole living in Tulsa thing. We might have to live somewhere else and commute to Tulsa. I was like, I will drive you to Tulsa every day if we don't have to live there.
What else is even near Tulsa?
I don't know. I'd have to look. There wasn't time for sightseeing. There was time to get the hell out of there. So
Yeah. Yeah, I hope you don't end up in Tulsa. That's going to be a lot harder to come visit you if you live in Tulsa.
facts, absolute facts. Oklahoma City was weird because one thing I found is very close to Norman, and I did not know that. It's very close. We drove through Norman into Oklahoma City. I was like, oh, okay, they're right next to each other. Got it. But the local coffee scene in Oklahoma City is crazy. So many local coffee shops. It was the one thing I looked up in each city that we went. I was like, okay, let's just see what the local coffee's like. There were everywhere. They were everywhere in Oklahoma City. There were some in Tulsa, which was kind of surprising too. There were more in Tulsa than I expected. But man, I tell you, put San Antonio to shame for sure. But even it's kind of like there were enough around. I'm like, this kind of competes with what you used to seeing in Dallas, where you can go to a lot of places. The hours weren't great, but there were a lot of them. Options. I can take it.
Alrighty. Good to know. Yeah. Man, I hope you don't end up in Oklahoma. I also don't want you to end up in New Orleans. I really would like you to just stay in San Antonio because that's terribly convenient.
Unfortunately, if it's not one of those 3 places, the next one up is Dallas. So,
Dallas is fine.
yeah, it's fine. Me living in Dallas would make a lot of people happier, for sure, because I would be closer. So there will be that.
But you got to do what's best for you as a couple, not everybody else. and not
Oh
you as an individual.
no, she wants to live in Dallas for sure.
Oh,
So that's a easy sell if it comes down to that choice. Easy sell.
why is that number not number one then? I'm confused.
It is number one. It's
Oh,
just that interview hasn't happened yet. So
oh,
yeah.
okay,
So,
gotcha.
but I'm not having to drive to that one. So it's in Dallas, so she can drive. She'll drive to that one by herself.
Should be fine.
Yeah, it's normal. It's a normal trip. So it's not like a trip that's twice as long. So I
I
don't feel
think
obligated to drive.
good. For all the trips that I took, um, in the last month and a half, of the ones that were like out of town trips, I only had to drive for one of them, I think. And that was to Portland and back. And both of them were at really dumb times. So one I was driving at 4 in the morning, and the other one I was driving at midnight. And it's a 3-hour drive there and back. So I was driving from like 4 to 7 and 12 a.m. to 3 a.m. because I'm an idiot. But all the other ones, somebody else drove. And it was so great. I really enjoyed not having to drive all the rest of them. Because Bend is 3 hours too. And I didn't have to drive for that. And I didn't have to drive to Eugene and back. Where else did I go? I didn't have to drive to Coos Bay and back on Monday, yesterday. And that's like an hour and a half drive. I got the good end of the deal.
Those drives are so short, though. They're so short.
They are so short. You had longer drives.
Well, I mean, I like driving overall, so.
I wouldn't have minded driving, but it was really nice too to just like sit in the passenger seat and chill. Worked out well.
Passenger seat has a certain amount of responsibility, though, that some people forget. Some people don't realize. Like, look, if you're in the passenger seat in my car and you want to have an opinion on the music, you need to DJ. And you need to DJ well, or I'm taking your privileges for DJing away.
I was a great DJ when I was the passenger. Except now I'm thinking when we went to Coos Bay, like I know that's such a short trip, but I don't even know if we listened to music that whole time. I think we just talked the whole time.
You know what's funny about that? We listen to music to Oklahoma City, but one way going to Tulsa and one way going to New Orleans, we almost listen to almost no music, which they were the longer drive. So go figure that. Partially, she would be sleeping or whatever. Or we're talking. I throw on the podcast or whatever, and I'm, satisfied. When you got plenty of hour plus podcasts, you can pass a lot of time. or my mom would call me or my uncle would call me or whatever. So just be on the phone. So not too bad, actually.
Yeah. That's honestly one of the best ways for me to pass time while I'm driving. If I'm driving by myself, I have to call somebody. Especially if I'm driving to Portland. Like, it's only a 3-hour drive, but I get really bored really fast. My attention span is so small. And so I always call somebody.
Yeah, that's fair. I can see how that can happen, especially when you're just open roading. And so I typically, if I know I'm gonna have a long trip and I have time, I am good for making a brand new playlist. I'm quick to do that. And so I have a whole new playlist and like, all right, let's go. We're gonna listen to this. And I try to have it long enough that I can skip like 30% of the songs and still have something to go. Because I'm gonna skip at least 30% of the songs.
Skipping is a must. I don't know how anyone listens to a playlist and doesn't skip. Like, even if it's a playlist I love and I listen to all the time, I still will skip around on songs. I'm like, how does Spotify account for this? Like, I still like that song and I want to listen to it, but I'm going to skip it right now because I don't want to listen to it today.
Yeah, that comes from, for me, just I have all the music on my computer. So I just create them myself. So it's like I won't mess up any algorithm by skipping them. Now, when I'm listening to Apple Music, then I try to be intentional about, okay, hearting it, but then skipping it. Yes, I like you. No, I don't want to listen to you.
Smart.
So,
Oh, I
but
was just
it's an
thinking,
effort.
I was maybe in an airplane as long as you were driving. In the last, no, that's still not quite right. I was in an airplane and driving for close to the amount of time you drove in a week.
I will say this amount of driving was one of my greatest accomplishments.
I'm so impressed.
Because
That
I
was a
can't,
lot of driving.
yeah, I really wasn't sure after the Oklahoma City trip. Like, man, I got to make two more of these. Then the Tulsa one was brutal. Oh, my word. Because it was just so, driving through towns with casinos in them. That's kind of like was the biggest highlight. Looking at casinos that are big-ish. I mean, after going to Vegas, all the casinos in Oklahoma look kind of puny, but hey.
Yeah. I'm going to a casino on Saturday, but that's irrelevant. The worst part about traveling for me is when I get home, if I did not prepare myself right when I left, like if I made sure I washed all the dishes, made sure my bed was made, and my room was at least mostly clean, I feel like I can come back from a trip and just jump right back into whatever my rhythm is. But if I come back and my bed isn't made, my whole return back is ruined. And I was not able to get to that point before I left for any of my trips this last time. And there just wasn't enough time for me to like clean up my room, make my bed, clean the dishes, and get myself back on track.
Excuses.
They are excuses, and I'm going to cling to them.
No, I am 100% the same way. Like before we left, I stayed up a couple times late before we would leave to make sure things were clean because I can't come back after being on the road that much to a dirty apartment. That's just is demoralizing because then I'm tired off the road, but then I'm going to clean. Like I just can't. I'm not going to go to sleep in the dirt. Like it has to get fixed. So yeah, it is definitely better for me to just put in the effort early and then not have to deal with it later.
Hmm. Like, ugh. That was not something when I was like a kid and living with my parents or even in college. That was not a thing. And then, like, near the end of college, I guess when I really started traveling more, when I would go on more trips, it was like, oh, room's got to be clean before I leave. And whatever I'm responsible for to be clean in the house needs to be clean before I leave. Because then you come home and you're like, oh, I got to take care of that. And it, like, ruins the mood, especially if you're going on, like, a fun trip. When you come back, it ruins the mood. And it's like, shoot, now I have to be an adult. Like, right now. I have to be responsible and I have to take care of this. I don't want to.
Yeah, instead of just coming home, throwing the throwing the bags in the hall and relaxing. It's like, okay, well, everything's terrible, so I need to clean it. But then I end up like I try to unpack within the first 12 hours because if I don't, then it's like 72 hours. It gets out of hand real quick.
72 hours is out of hand? Whoops.
You know, for me, how that's way, way, way out of hand. Like I try if we get back home from traveling before 8 o'clock, those bags are unpacked and laundry is started from the road before we go to bed. Like I do not let it sit. And so I try to like, no, just do it. So, but if we get back like 10:30, 11, 12, then I'm too tired to really try. And then you go back to work, and then, all right, 1 day, 2 day, 3 days, you're looking like, okay, crap, this is terrible. I don't have clothes to wear. Maybe I should go be an adult and get my life together for a second. So,
I wish I had your discipline. Or not the most, the like basic step I do as soon as I get back is I take the dirty clothes out of the bag and I put them in the laundry. But that's mostly because the backpack that I normally travel with is also the backpack I take to work. So I have to take all my work stuff out of the backpack to pack, and then I have to take all of that stuff out to go to work the next day.
You know, that's good motivation though. That's really good motivation to make sure you actually do it because I know some people who stuff will sit in the dirty laundry in the bag for way too long.
Yeah, it works. It's a must. Sometimes I think about it. I'm like, I'm going to use a different bag this time. I'm like, no, if I use a different bag, it will just sit around for too long. This will keep me moving. Except when I came back from this last trip, I got back at like 3 in the morning and I got back and I just went right to bed. And then I got up in the morning and I still had to go to work the next morning. And I didn't take my clothes out of the bag right away. And I was like, shoot, I can't leave for work until I unpack. I think I just took the clothes out, put them in the laundry, and then whatever else was like a must in that pocket, I took it out, put all my work stuff in, and left the front pocket full. And I just threw all the work stuff on top of it. I was like, I don't have time. I'm so tired. I just got to get to work.
Ridiculous. I did make the mistake of not taking the day after I got back from all the traveling off. I'm like, oh, this is fine. I'll be fine. Ridiculous. I was so tired going back to work, and I'm in the middle of a 10-day in a row stretch. Today was day 7 of 10, so I'm real tired. Drove a bunch, didn't take a day off, went right back to work, worked 10 days straight. So yeah, foolishness.
My gosh, child.
It's my own doing. I had time to take off. I just did not think about it for whatever reason.
Yeah, that seems like something you of all people would be like, no, I'm giving myself a break.
Usually for every other thing I do, I don't know what possessed me to think that, oh, don't worry about it. You'll be fine after driving to Tulsa and back.
I would do that. That sounds like something I would do because I'm dumb. And I do that. I get back at 3 in the morning and I go back to work the next day. Did not take any time off. Barely slept. I think I couldn't even sleep that night until like 4 in the morning for some reason. And then I was at work by 10 a.m.
That is foolishness. That's absolute foolishness. But I'm right there with you. I didn't make it any easier on myself because getting back from Tulsa, got back at what was it, 10:45, give or take. We got back, so it was like take the stuff out of the car, go to sleep, get up, go to work. It was such a bad idea.
It is, but we continue to do it.
Facts. Then I'm going to Houston this weekend, so I'm not resting this weekend either. So then that's so much fun.
That's new. You keep saying facts. Where did you pick that up? You've done it 3 times since we talked on the phone today. Yes.
I couldn't tell you that I even noticed I was saying it.
Who knows where that came from before, and you've done it 3 times.
I wonder. I don't know. I'm sure it'll show up somewhere where I'll hear someone at work say it. I'm like, you did this to me.
You called me out for saying, what was it, fam? I still say fam a lot, but I used to say it a lot, and I had no idea where I picked it up. And you were like, oh yeah, I know exactly where you got that. Like, oh.
And then, you kind of got away from it, which I'm so happy because you're bugging me.
But now I say it like once a month. Maybe once a week.
Except I'm almost certain you said it 2 or 3 times today before we started recording. So
what?
You did something. It's your fault.
Okay. I'm not surprised. I used to do that more. I used to do that all the time. I don't do that very much anymore. I think that was something that everybody in high school did. And so I would do it all the time.
Oh, well, I'll figure it out. Or maybe I won't. And I probably heard someone say it that wasn't even a coworker. And now it's stuck in my brain.
Maybe it's on a TV show or something.
Maybe. Or something I've seen on YouTube. That could also be.
And then you'll never find it again.
Yeah, that is very true. It'll probably be gone forever.
Into the other. Either? Other? What is that word?
Ether is the word.
Ether.
Not my fault, guys. She's just like this. I didn't do it.
I'm blaming you wholeheartedly. No, it's my fault. I'm a weirdo. I've always been a weirdo. Ask any of my sisters, and they will definitely tell you. Ask anybody. Ask everybody. Everybody knows.
That's fact.
That is an inside joke for all of my siblings, and all of you will get it.
That's facts, though. That's absolute facts.
All right. Well, it's almost 11 o'clock for you.
Yep. Almost that time.
Almost that time. It's not even 9 o'clock for me, and I'm already tired. I have no reason to be tired, but I'm tired. These dogs take a lot of energy.
Yeah. I used to dog sit. You really have to give them some attention.
Yeah.
Until the dog got old, and then he was just chill. So that was nice.
One of the dogs is older, and he's pretty chill. And the other dog, she's a puppy, and she is just full of energy. And I'm like, I can't handle you. So then the older dog is like, I just want to play fetch all day. I'm like, that's also a lot of energy. Like, I just don't have energy for either of you. I just want you to be in a fence outside, and I want you to just run by yourself. I've got things to do.
Like record podcasts.
Like record a podcast and practice swing dancing and manage the soundboard at church. And I did all of that just tonight.
See, there you go. You're doing it to yourself.
I am doing it to myself. If I'm not traveling a bunch and in an airplane for 6 hours and then in a different place for a long time and driving for 3 hours when I get back, like, I'm bouncing from place to place to place. It happens. It's my life. That's what I do.
You really need to learn to say, maybe not no, but maybe more often. Take a little bit off your plate so you don't get so beat up.
I'm kind of trying, but it's really hard.
That is not facts. That is a lie. That's a damn dirty lie.
I am trying, though.
Mm-hmm.
But then I feel really bad.
What do you feel bad for?
Because I don't want anybody to think that I'm valuing somebody else over them because I gave them my time and I did give somebody else my time. Like, I love all of you. So I want to show all of you my love equally.
That's not how this works.
But
it has to make sense for, you. Oh, look what I deal with, guys. This is her fault. I don't understand. I try to get her to be better, to think of herself, to not, run herself ragged every week. Your calendar still makes me want to pass out every time I see it.
I had nothing to do on Saturday afternoon, and it was fabulous.
What did you do, though?
So nice.
You had nothing to do, but what did you do?
What did I do? I didn't really do anything.
It's a freaking miracle.
I played with the dogs for a little bit. I did stuff in the morning. I got back to my house at like 1, I think. We went to dinner. Yeah, I don't remember what else I did. I played with the dogs for a long time. I think I might have done laundry. I don't even remember. But yeah, I just hung out all Saturday. But that's the thing, like, I get a day off, and I'm like, I have so many things that I need to do. And I'm also like, I don't know what to do if I don't have a million things that I need to do. Like, I don't know how to just relax. I don't know what to do. So then I stress out about that.
I want to introduce a concept called a me day. They're fantastic. You need to take a few more. You'll get better at
me days. I feel so guilty taking a me day though, because I have so much to do, and I want to hang out with people.
Me days are the absolute best. Just go put up a freaking hammock in a park and just relax. Like nothing. Just oh, you know what? I feel like going to just go for a walk. Now I don't feel like doing it anymore. I feel like going over here or just, oh, you know what? I want to go try that new restaurant or whatever. Just it's the best freaking thing of all time. Just
Okay.
do whatever you want. I know it's
I'll
hard for you.
try.
I know it's hard.
Thank you, Dr. Malik.
I try to be an example, but here I go. Um, all right, guys. Well, this has been a quick-ish chat.
We'll wrap it up
uh,
there.
yeah. So we'll have this published soon. It'll be great.
Well, you guys know where to find us if you want to talk more about all of your travels or any of the other random things that we talked about today. And we'll talk to you guys again soon. Bye.
Bye.